We're actually standing on the terrace of the Student Union building, looking down at the start of a demolition site. The Centre for Student Life is a really exciting project. It's a new build in the heart of the Cathays campus. It's going to be a new home for all our student support services, our student wellbeing and counselling service, our futures, which includes our careers, employability, our Global Opportunities Centre. It's going to have an information hub and an advice bar. And the new building will be fully operational in 2020, so it's going to take us about 2 years from start to finish. But we're also really hopeful that during the build we'll also develop some of our services ahead of that time. So students will start to see some of the benefits of the Centre for Student Life before it opens, but in 2020 the new building will be open and we'll welcome our first cohort of students in then.
Would you also be able to tell us a little bit about the demolition work which is happening down there and how it might affect current students?
As with all buildings, there will be a certain amount of disruption, and the Centre for Student Life is being built right at the heart of our Cathays campus, and in fact next to the Student Union building. So during the demolition there will obviously be some disruption which we're going to try and manage really carefully. The Student Union will be fully operational during that time. We'll make sure that there's access into the building, and obviously what we want to make sure we do that we involve students during the whole of the build. So we'll be providing opportunities for students to input into some of the things that they'd like to see, and we'll also make sure that we're communicating with students about what's going on when.
The bit that I'm really excited to see is that Cardiff University is actually putting student welfare right at the centre of what it's doing. It's going to include a 550 seating lecture theatre. It's going to have lots of flexible learning space. It's going to be really open and airy. Obviously there's always challenges when you're building a new building, but because we've been working in partnership over the last few years, we've actually managed to create a building where there's going to be a really natural flow with a new staircase going through the centre of the building, which then connects to the Students' Union. So ultimately it won't necessarily affect the way that the Students' Union works, and it will actually provide a whole load of new opportunities. Principally, it will allow the Students' Union to be able to access more space, it will allow us to work more collaboratively with the university, and it will open up way more opportunities because students are going to be drawn to the centre of student life, and that's why it's called what it is.
The Centre for Student Life is obviously going to be a physical building, but we're also really clear that we need to support students who aren't based on the Cathays campus. We have students based on our Heath Park site and actually across Cardiff. But also, as we're developing our placement offer, we'll have a number of students who'll be on placement either here or overseas. So one of the things we're really keen to do is to ensure that regardless of where students are and whatever time of the day and night, they will have access to some support. We're looking at ways in which we might be able to use technology more smartly. We'll also be able to ensure that students can book appointments at times that suit them, and they'll be able to access that appointment booking system as part of our new offer. One of the things that I'm particularly attracted to in the way in which we've designed the Centre for Student Life is also that the students can be supported by the university and the Students' Union from one base. I'm really aware that the Student Union does an awful lot to support our students with their welfare, with their access to study, and actually what this will enable us to do, I hope, is to work in even better partnership.